And now some Hebrew. We're in Ruth chapter 2. Let's look at verse 6. See if you can pronounce this Hebrew. Here's my attempt. Vaya'an ha-na'ar ha-nizav al ha-kozarim. All right, what does that mean? What do you recognize? Well, all is a preposition upon. I see a hey patak doubling. That's the. And here's a hey patak doubling. That's the. And here's a hey patak doubling. That's the. A lot of the going on here. I see a vav patak doubling. That's a converted imperfect or a preterite or a vayiktol or something like that. Anyway, it's a preterite. It's a preterite. So what word is it? Because I've only got two letters here. I mean, if the vav is and the yod is the imperfect, third masculine singular, so I only have two letters. This is detective work here. We must figure this out. What's missing? Is it the first letter? Is it a middle letter? Is it a last letter? I'm going to go with ana, a third hey, where the hey has gone away. What the hey? And he answered is what I would guess it is here. And answered who? The na'ar answered, the servant. So we have a na'ar here, a servant. And then in the next line, we have a na'ara, a servant girl. So, and the servant, so what's the context here? You don't remember? Well, basically, Boaz has come out, and there's a woman in his field who's harvesting, and he's like, who is this woman? And so he asked his servant, and the servant answered, and he said, hold on that. So what we have here is, I have something to do in 10 minutes. Can I get this done? Let's see. Okay, so, and the servant, which servant do you ask? Well, the one set over the ones who are reaping. So we have a hepatok doubling. This seems to be a verb kind of thing. And so what kind of a verb takes an article on it? Well, a participle. It's a party. And so this is, in fact, the verb nazav, which means to I don't know, be in charge, something like that. But it's Niph'al. It's a passive here. So I put being set, the servant who is appointed or being set over the ones who reap. So this is a n participle, masculine, singular, absolute, and definite, in fact, from nazav. So, and the servant who was set over the ones reaping said, which is the next word. This here, we've seen this form before. So hirik yod mem, it's a masculine plural, absolute. It is also a participle, kazar, to reap. And with a holum after the first consonant, that's a telltale sign of a call participle, or a G, if you want to call it a G participle. So it's a masculine plural, absolute, definite, G participle from kazar. Okay, so let's pronounce the Hebrew here. Vayomer na'ara mo'aviyah he. So he answered and he said, so there's a quote that begins here, right here, after, and he said, quote, na'ara, the servant woman, so this is simply the feminine form of na'ar. Kamatz hey is a feminine singular kind of ending. They're two different nouns, right? If you want to call them that. One is the noun na'ar, which is a male servant, and the other is the noun na'ara, a female servant. Sometimes they're two different words, I would say, but okay. So, and he said, the servant woman, a Moabitess is she. Moabitess is she. So he's talking Yoda here. I didn't know that they talked Yoda in ancient Israel, but apparently they did. So this is Moabitess, again, kamatz hey, it's a feminine singular kind of word. You can see Moab in there. So the servant woman is, a Moabitess is she. Now remember, in Hebrew, he is she. He is the Hebrew word for she. Who is he? He is she. A dog is fish, and me is who? Anyway, so there you have it. That's it for this screen, but we have a little bit more in the verse. See if you can pronounce this. Here's my pronunciation. Hashava im na'ami miss a day. That sounds okay. It sounds like Star Wars again. Miss a day. Moab. Okay, what's that guy's name? The floppy ear guy, underwater people. Anyway, so what is this last bit? Do you recognize anything? Well, I see a hey patak doubling again. I see im, which is a preposition that means im. I see naami, Naomi. I see a mem hiric doubling. That's probably a min, the word from, and nun assimilates with no vowel, separates, and so the nun has been sucked into the scene. It's been sucked into sin. But anyway, so what does this translate as? She is a Moabitess, and she is the Ha-Shavah, the one who returned. Now, kamatz hey tells me that it's feminine, so it's a woman returning. This is shuv, which is the verb for return. The fact that we have a verb with a hey patak doubling on it tells me it's another participle. We got so many participles in this verse. So it's the woman returning. It's call. Nothing's been done to it, so it's a call participle, feminine singular definite from shuv. So she is a Moabitess, the woman returning with Naomi from the field of Moab. So there's the min on the front, and sadeh, we've seen that before. This is a construct form of it. So field of dreams, the field of Moab, the land of Moab, if you want to. But we have in our worldview, we're going to read land differently than so I've left it as field. So from because Moab is definite, that means this is also definite, from the field of Moab. And there you have it. That is Ruth chapter 2, verse 6. And this has been the Hebrew of my week, at least.